सोचो, आपने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी एक मास्टरपीस बनाने में लगा दी। ये आपके करियर की सबसे बड़ी पहचान है, लेकिन म्यूजियम में उस पेंटिंग के नीचे आपका नहीं बल्कि किसी मर्द का नाम लिखा है, सिर्फ इसलिए क्योंकि आप एक औरत हैं। Walk through the halls of London's National Gallery today and the numbers tell a startling story. Currently, women artists account for just 1% of the entire collection. This gap isn't because women weren't painting at the highest levels of history, it's because their signatures were frequently and often intentionally removed from the record. The sheer weight of that missing history points to a systemic process. To find out where those masterpieces went, we have to examine the specific techniques used to write women out of their own artistic legacy. The first mechanism of erasure relied on a simple prejudice, the bias of ambition. If a painting was massive or complex, historical gatekeepers assumed it was beyond a woman's capability.
For centuries, a staggeringly ambitious tableau titled The Triumph of Bacchus sat in the depots of the Kunsthistorisches Museum in Vienna, its true origins ignored. In the early 1900s, curators looked at the painting's massive scale and declared it impossible for a woman to have executed. They reassigned the credit to the artist's brother, Charles Wautier. The institutional logic was that because women were banned from life drawing classes, they could never master the complex human anatomy required for such a monumental scene. Michaelina Wautier left a hidden rebuttal inside the work itself. On the right side of the painting, she depicted herself as a warrior-like figure, staring directly at the viewer with a look of pure defiance. When Wautier's talent exceeded the narrow expectations of her era, the establishment protected its worldview by simply moving her name to the shadows and giving her genius to a man. A second method was erasure by association. This occurred when a woman's portfolio was absorbed by the famous fathers, husbands, or male tutors in her immediate circle. Dutch painter Judith Leyster was highly esteemed during her life, but after her death, her high-quality genre scenes were attributed to the more famous men in her entourage. In 1892, an art dealer cleaning the carousing couple found a hidden symbol beneath Franz Hall's forged signature, an entwined JL and a star. This proved Leyster was painted over because a male master fetched a higher price. Artemisia Gentileschi faced a similar fate. Her emotionally intense Baroque paintings were routinely credited to her father, Erasure, or his friend Caravaggio. Gentileschi eventually started hiding her name on the blades of swords within her paintings, literally weaponizing her signature to prove what a woman could do. Proximity to male greatness became a tool for the art market, allowing it to merge female artistic identity into more marketable male names. By the 20th century, erasure became driven by the direct financial benefit of the male signature, turning gender bias into a profitable business model. The radical Dada movement functioned as an exclusive club. They championed women as muses and participants, but rarely as the primary architects of the movement. Baroness Elsa von Freytag-Loringhoven created an early ready-made sculpture, yet a male peer received the credit for nearly a century while she died in poverty. This trend hit a commercial peak in the 1960s with the big-eyed wave paintings. While Margaret Keane produced the work, her husband Walter took credit for the massively profitable empire. To Erasure, a federal judge finally ordered a live demonstration. Walter Keane refused to paint, citing a shoulder injury, while Margaret finished an entire recognizable work in front of the jury in less than an hour. The modern art world had weaponized the male signature, transforming the cultural preference for men into a highly exploitative and very lucrative corporate strategy. Through centuries of disbelief and economic greed, the art establishment systematically scrubbed female mastery from the public consciousness. This pattern was a functional feature of the art market. By erasing female names, institutions protected the cultural prestige and financial value tied to the male master as a category. That system is now being forced to change. Modern historians are scouring archives and using new imaging technology to find the signatures that were meant to be hidden forever. Major institutions like the Royal Academy are finally opening exhibitions that officially place these women back into their rightful positions in history. तो आपको क्या लगता है? क्या ऐसी और भी कहानियां हैं जो इतिहास ने हमसे छुपा कर रखी हैं? मुझे कमेंट्स में ज़रूर बताइए।
इस वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर ज़रूर करें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में। जय हिंद।